Some jobs you have to be totally accountable. You have to have a zero tolerance for any shenanigans.
Trump, the daughter, Omarosa, they run the world, man. Yo, man, this shit is crazy. I think people overlook George Bush's contributions to black history.
He stopped you?
Yeah. What did he say? He said, you don't live around here, do you? And I'm looking at him like, no, you don't live around here.
In the next 5 minutes, I'm going to show you exactly how Chris Rock used comedy to expose Trump's biggest political contradictions. We'll break down the clever way Rock reframed Biden's pardon of Hunter, making Trump's attacks look petty and heartless. You'll also see the exact moment Rock called Elon Musk the #1 African American in the world, and how this one joke revealed the superficial nature of Trump's alliances. Stay tuned to see why Trump's furious reaction only proves Rock's points even more. Before we move on, I'd like to ask you a small favor. If you appreciate this content, please take a second to like this video and subscribe to the channel. Over 98% of you watch the videos without subscribing. It costs you nothing, but it makes a huge difference to us. So, did you click the subscribe button? Great, thank you so much. Now back to the video. Have you ever noticed how Trump absolutely loses his mind whenever a comedian takes a shot at him? It's not just because his ego is as fragile as a chocolate teapot in the Sahara. There's something deeper at work here. While serious journalists struggle to explain why Trump's policies don't make sense, comedians like Chris Rock can cut through the nonsense with a single punchline that hits harder than a whole week of CNN panels combined.
There's a percentage that's like, oh, why are you I had a cop a couple of years ago, just like, what are you driving around here for?
Trump might work out. I mean, think about it this way. Bush was so bad, he gave us Obama.
He stopped you?
Yeah. What did he say? He said, you don't live around here, do you? And I'm looking at him like, no, you don't live around here.
When Chris Rock stepped onto the SNL stage, he wasn't just there to make people laugh. He came armed with jokes that were like tiny truth bombs wrapped in punchlines. And boy, did they explode right in Trump's face. Trump's relationship with Elon Musk has always been a bit weird, right? Two billionaires pretending they're just regular guys who understand the common folk. But Rock saw right through it. Rock brilliantly referred to Musk as the #1 African American in the world. Now that's the kind of joke that works on multiple levels. First, it's technically true, Musk was born in South Africa. Second, it exposes how shallow Trump's relationship with Musk really is. Is Trump trying to score diversity points by hanging out with a white South African? Rock saw the absurdity and called it out with perfect comic timing. But Rock was just warming up. He followed that zinger with an even sharper one about how nobody knows how to get rid of people like a South African.
Ain't nothing gonna happen to Trump, man. Nothing's gonna happen to Trump. Here's the crazy thing. It might just work out. Trump might work out.
Regardless of,
absolutely.
the
Most
jokes
of
we're
my
making,
dealings with the police
have been good.
Good. But yes.
Trump, the daughter, Omarosa, they run the world, man. Yo, man, this shit is crazy.
In just 7 words, Rock connected Musk's background to Trump's harsh immigration policies. It was like watching a surgeon with a scalpel, precise, clean, and the patient doesn't even realize what's happened until it's too late. What makes Rock's comedy so effective against Trump is how casual he is about the whole thing. He doesn't scream or rant, he just raises an eyebrow, smirks, and drops these truth bombs like they're the most obvious things in the world. And that's what drives Trump crazy. How do you tweet angrily at a raised eyebrow? How do you counterpunch a knowing smirk? You can't. It's comedy kryptonite. The immigration jokes must have really gotten under Trump's skin because they attacked the cornerstone of his political brand. Trump's whole thing is, I'm gonna deport everyone. And Rock just made that look ridiculous. Take the joke about the Menendez brothers getting deported. It wasn't random. It was carefully crafted to show how absurd Trump's deportation obsession really is. Even American-born convicted murderers aren't safe in Trump's America. That's the joke, but it also makes you think about the real-world implications of Trump's rhetoric.
Some jobs you have to be totally accountable. You have to have a zero tolerance for any shenanigans.
The cast of The Apprentice is running the world.
Then there was that brilliant bit where Rock pretended to mix up Jennifer Lopez and Ben Affleck, which mocked Trump's cultural ignorance and the xenophobic stereotype that immigrants only marry Americans to get citizenship. Again, it's funny on the surface, but underneath it's exposing the ugly truth about Trump's views on immigration. What makes Rock such a master is how he weaves together themes of race, immigration, and technology in his jokes. He doesn't need to give a lecture on why Trump's policies are problematic. Instead, he just highlights the absurdities and lets the audience connect the dots themselves.
Bully shit. That's how Trump became president. That's exactly what happened. We got rid of bullies. A real bully showed up. Some people just fell up. You know, people are like, well, you know what goes around comes around. No, it don't.
A new message on the impact of Trump's presidency from a political expert. Comedian Chris Rock in his new special talks about bullies, and he makes the argument that while bullying is bad,
it's like the difference between someone telling you a food tastes bad versus letting you take a bite and discover the awful taste yourself. Which one is more convincing? Comedy experts point out that Rock's approach, avoiding direct insults and instead focusing on highlighting absurdities, is particularly devastating when critiquing political figures. When you call Trump a mean name, his supporters can dismiss it as partisan hatred, but when you simply point out the inherent contradictions in his positions with a joke, there's no defense. You're left laughing at how silly the whole thing is.
You forget that shit, don't you? Bush was so bad that people said, hey, maybe this black guy has the answers. They need to honor him at the Essence Festival. I think people overlook George Bush's contributions to black history.
Trump's furious reaction to Rock's monologue proves exactly why comedy is so effective. When people are laughing at your policies, you can't hide behind political talking points anymore. The emperor has no clothes, and everyone's pointing and giggling. No wonder he gets so mad. His carefully constructed political persona melts away under the heat of well-crafted jokes. When you think about it, Chris Rock's takedown of Trump is political genius 101. He's basically found the cheat code for cutting through all the noise. Rather than boring everyone with lengthy policy explanations, Rock uses absurdity to expose absurdity, but the funny kind that makes truth hit harder than any CNN panel ever could. Political analysts have noticed that Rock's humor doesn't just make us laugh, it's actually a powerful tool for social commentary. His jokes make complicated political stuff way easier to understand for regular folks who don't have time to read 50-page policy documents. That's why Trump gets his diaper in such a twist when comedians mock him. They're doing what politicians with their fancy suits and memorized talking points can't. They're making his ideas look as ridiculous as his spray tan routine. Maybe what Washington needs isn't more lawyers, but more stand-up comedians. At least they know how to laugh at themselves instead of rage tweeting at 3 a.m.